face value, if you have a Nintendo Switch and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, there's no reason not to buy the newly released Booster Course DLC. With the price of admission either a flat $24.99 or purchase of Nintendo Switch Online and its expansion pack, paying for another 48 courses in one of the best-selling video games of all time sounds like a no-brainer. For the most part, it's a simple transaction. Mechanically, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is a stellar kart racer, packed with course and character options, as well as a series-first 200cc mode to test veteran racers. Even before the announcement of the Booster Course DLC, Mario Kart 8 had plenty of content, featuring the inclusion of a pair of DLC packs from the game's original release on the Wii U. Nintendo might be stalling on brandishing the newest numbered version of Mario Kart, but Mario Kart 8 Deluxe delivered on its moniker, showcasing a bit of everything from the series past, like the return of battle mode, in one tight package. But if there is reason to give pause to paying for the latest DLC, it's not the cries about the game's incongruous art styles. Rather, it's to consider Nintendo's wavering nature around game preservation. In the 16 years since Nintendo launched its Wii, we've seen varying attempts at incorporating downloadable content into the company's first-party titles. Satoru Iwata believed DLC had a time and place. In 2012, he attested that Nintendo wouldn't manufacture downloadable content for all of its titles. We would like to supply consumers with only add-on or downloadable content which they are happy to pay for as compensation for creative work, Iwata explained in an oft-quoted investors meeting. More recently, in 2018, Shigeru Miyamoto touted Nintendo's support for fixed-price games instead of the free-to-play, and subsequently pay-to-win, models. Nintendo has stayed true to developing full games first, and DLC second, for its in-house titles. Super Mario Odyssey received the minigame Luigi's Balloon World free of charge. Conversely, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate both relished in their expansion passes only after providing a complete title that stands alone from DLC offerings. Even Mario Kart 8 Deluxe embraces positive DLC practices, with players able to access the new courses without the paid pass, either by playing with friends or by racing online. Instances like this point to Nintendo's progressive stance towards DLC. So why is the company so cagey about game preservation? In 2017, I became one of the suckers to buy Mario Kart 8 for a second time. I have a habit of buying certain games I like multiple times over. I have 2 copies of Final Fantasy XIII and XIII-2. If you count the handheld version, I have 5 copies of Science Generations. Grand Theft Auto 4, Persona 3, 4, and 5 all line my game shelf multiple times over. But buying Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was different. Instead of shelling out an extra $60 to support the game's developers, my second copy, as is the case with other players, I'm sure, came at the expense of my own poor choice of investing in a Wii U. The Wii U's death knell came far too soon. Nintendo led the charge of the 8th generation of home consoles with a successor to the Wii, only to sideline the Wii U in favor of the Switch just fewer than 5 years after its release. Of course, the Wii U didn't have any shortage of noteworthy games. Bayonetta 2, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, Hyrule Warriors, and Super Mario Bros. U all come to mind. But with the release of the Switch and its tiny cartridge-based media came a question about buy-in from owners of the Wii U. Do you keep your Wii U games on the system, or pay into enhanced versions on Switch? In some cases, buying a Switch release of a Wii U game had its benefits. Bayonetta 2 came bundled with Bayonetta, which hadn't been released on a Nintendo console. In others, like Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, a single additional character, Funky Kong, separates the new version from the old. Effectively, Nintendo rewarded players who supported its failed console in the form of a fully priced re-release of a game they likely already owned. Every console maker has offered marginally improved re-releases of past games, but when taken with Nintendo's similarly restrictive practices around video game preservation, the question about buying DLC becomes weightier. In April 2021, Sony heated fan outcry about nixing access to the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation Portable online stores by reversing its decision less than a month after it went public. We see now that many of you are incredibly passionate about being able to continue purchasing classic games on PS3 and PS Vita for the foreseeable future, so I'm glad we were able to find a solution to continue operations, wrote PlayStation CEO Jim Ryan in a blog post. Still, I question how long the stores will remain open following the announcement of PlayStation's Game Pass competitor, PlayStation Plus Premium. While we're on the subject, Microsoft has taken leaps towards improving access to games through its backwards compatibility program. At the time of this video, nearly 700 games are available, some like Sonic Generations or Final Fantasy 13-2 receiving performance enhancements. Nintendo, however, regularly seems to be shuttering its virtual storefronts. The Wii Shop channel, which was home to a variety of games from relatively obscure consoles like the TurboGrafx and Sega Master System, was canned in 2019. The 3DS store, which offered a deal of game remakes with newly added 3D functionality, like Sonic the Hedgehog, will be removed in 2023. By that same measure, the Red Games giant also takes every opportunity to remove its software from online emulation repositories. Recently, it even went to the extent of striking scans of a Super Mario 64 strategy guide from the internet. Nintendo is possibly the most storied company in video game history, but outwardly appears to have no love for said history. When it suits the company's bottom line, it'll repackage its classics for modern releases, see Mario 3D All-Stars on the Switch, or make them available through digital subscription services. Buying Mario Kart 8's Booster Pass, then, isn't so much a question about whether the new courses are worth the money, it's about whether you'll be buying a re-release of the same courses in a few years' time.